Okay, guys, so here we are. It's Tuesday, March 24th. You survived one day. Hey, you're on a roll. You're a ham on a roll. So, quick review of the vocab words. Accord, one heart. Remember, accord is heart. Cardiac, cord. Barter means to trade, one good for another. Curt, don't be curt with me. So, curt means to be short, to the point, usually in a rude way. Devise means to create a plan. Dexterous, handy, skillful with your hands. Engross, remember, gross means like a lot, a large amount. So engross would mean to be totally wrapped up in something, total. Entailed, entailed means to involve something. So what is entailed in writing a book? Well, you would say a lot is entailed in writing a book. You might say, I have to spend a lot of time planning. I have to come up with a plot. Have to have time to do the writing, rewriting, have someone proofread it. So a lot is entailed in writing a book. Ferret means to search, like those animals do. They're always jumping around looking for something. Habituate, where we get the word habit, means to become used to something. You're habituated to being housebound and not going anywhere. Impending, pending, or impending means having to do with something that's about to happen in the future. Personable is what I am. Likable, friendly, attractive. It doesn't get much better than that, folks. So personable means someone you can easily get along with. You know how some people are not? They're just very hard to talk to. Maybe they don't answer questions and they don't make you feel comfortable. Rue means to regret. Rue it's a good word to know. If you spell that wrong, I can't help you. All right, 3 letters. Scoff means to make fun of. If you misspell rue, you might be scoffed at. Transition means to change from one point to another. Trans means across. Whenever you see trans, it means across. Transition, like in sports. In basketball, transition would be from defense to offense. Trepidation is literally means to tremble or to fear. So let's say that you were invited to the White House and you had to meet the president and you had to give a speech in public. You'd be shaking, you'd be trembling because you'd be nervous. Upbraid means to be scolded or blamed or criticized. Again, the book of James says, if you lack wisdom, ask God, and he will give you bountifully without scolding, without upbraiding, it says in chapter 1 of James. Veritable, maybe V-E-R-I, always means true. Remember, I gave you the word verisimilitude. Verisimilitude means similar to the truth. Jesus said, verily, verily. So very means truth. If you look at Harvard's slogan, they have a slogan, like a seal, and it says veritas, one of the words. A lot of colleges have that, actually. Veritas. They want to teach truth. Vex means to frustrate. As I said in the last video, Lot was vexed in Sodom, just like you might be vexed by the culture around us going down the tubes. Frustrated, annoyed, concerned, exasperated. You might be vexed when you have everything planned out, but then something doesn't work right and none of it works and you can't follow through on your plans. 2 more. Vitality. Vita always means life. Whenever you see that, that's where we get the word vitamin. When you take vitamins. So vita means life. Vitality. You're full of energy, life, enthusiasm. Ah! And the last one, whimsical. Whimsical means like acting on the spur of the moment. Like, ah! So whimsical is spontaneous, whimsical, on a whim. People say, you're going to do something on a whim. All right, now we're going to go to the grammar. All right, we're going to introduce, make sure you get that book out. Don't just sit there looking pretty. Make sure you're personable, all right? So we're going to start chapter 3 here. It's page 90 in your book. We're going to finish up the last parts of speech we didn't cover before. Verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. So one of these days I have that adverb song I think I'm going to probably post the link to so you can listen to it at home. And it's just a beautiful song. You maybe I played it earlier this year for you. But basically, we're going to talk about these parts of speech, and then we're done with the 8 parts of speech. Yeah, so we're going to go over this a little bit today. And then your homework tonight will be study your vocabulary for tomorrow's quiz. The quiz is going to be on Sycamore, and it's going to be where the, I think it says online tests are. So we're going to work through this together, okay? So let's go through the diagnostic preview. This is just to show, the whole purpose of diagnostic previews is to show how much you don't know. Isn't that complimenting? Isn't that complimentary? Diagnostic is to find out what's wrong. To diagnose, yeah, figure out what's wrong with us. So we're going to go through the 1 through 20 on page 90 to 91. So number 1, let's go through that. It basically says to identify the words that are italicized with verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, or interjection. Quick review. All right. This is, I shouldn't be giving this, but I'm going to help you out a little bit. Remember, verb is an action. Could be a linking verb, like am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. Could be a linking verb. Could be an action verb. But generally, it shows some kind of action, all right? Obviously, you should know that by now. Adverbs answer the question when, where, how. You could also add a few other questions there, like to what extent. But basically, it's going to be when, where, how. And most adverbs, a lot of adverbs, end in ly, okay? Prepositions, they're words which show direction or movement. So he walked into the house. He looked under the bridge. The rainbow could be seen over the house. So it shows some kind of direction. And then conjunction is conjoined. That's where we get the word conjoin. Conjunction means to bring two things together. So remember, conjunctions join sentences. They join parts of sentences. And as we go on, there are 2 types. There's subordinating and coordinating. Coordinating, just to put it simply, bring together 2 equal parts of sentences. I like pizza and I eat chocolate cake. All right? And joins 2 equal parts of a sentence. And then there are subordinate conjunctions where one part of the sentence has more value than the other, and it goes between those 2. But we'll talk about that later. And the last one is interjection. I recently walked into a class, and they were talking about interjections, and so I looked in and I said, "You learned about interjections? Wow!" And then I said, "Cool." I don't think some people got it. Interjections are usually one-word statements with an exclamation point after them, and they express some kind of emotion. So here we go. Let's try these out. I'm going to give you a little time to answer them, so if you get them wrong, don't panic. The first crossword puzzle was published in 1913. Bum, 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 bum. No, we're not going to do that every time, don't worry. In shows direction. Right. I heard someone say that. No, I didn't. Preposition is right. Number 2, it appeared. Appeared, its own action, right? So it's a verb. Cha-ching, good job. You got to speak louder, all right? We're miles apart, but if I open up my windows, I should be able to hear. Number 3, on the fun page of a New York City newspaper, of is a preposition, right? Preposition. And, I know you guys got that right away. It's a conjunction. And, remember the conjunctions, by the way? The coordinating conjunctions are easy to remember. because they're all 3 letters or fewer, and they spell fanboys. Fanboys. For and nor but yet. No, fanboys. Or yet and so. Immediately, what would that be? Ends in ly. It shows you time, so it's an adverb, right? 6, asked. That's a verb, right? 4 more. 4. What's 4? Right, preposition. 8, almost every newspaper. Now, every is an adjective describing newspaper. So what is a word that describes an adjective? Right. Right. Adverb. So almost. Adverbs describe, say something about verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. So in this case, this is an adverb describing an adjective. Almost every newspaper. Number 9. Now publishes. Now. What would that be? It tells you when, right? So it's going to be an adverb again. Remember, adverbs answer when, where, or how. Next paragraph. Every day, millions of Americans faithfully. If you saw the ly in the end, that probably would be a good clue. It's an adverb because it describes a verb, work. Adverbs describe verbs. Remember, many people take puzzles quite seriously. Now, you know seriously is an adverb because it modifies the word take. It's how you take them. So if seriously is an adverb, something that modifies an adverb is also called an adverb. So in these first 11 questions, you already have 3 adverbs, one describing an adjective, one describing a verb, and one describing an adverb. Last sentence on the page 90. For many, solving puzzles is a competitive game. Is a linking verb, right? Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, seem, appear, grow, remain, etc. Okay, next page, page 91. Keep up with me, all right? If you don't, I'm going to have to come over and I'm going to have to smack you over the head with your grammar book. No, I won't do that. It's violent. Okay, 13. I do puzzles. Do is an action, right? So it's got to be a verb. 14. Strictly for fun. Again, it ends in ly, right? So he does them strictly for fun. So strictly would be an adverb. You're right. Best of all, I can work on them by myself. By would be what? Right, preposition. By means like it shows direction. By myself. That way, no one knows whether I succeed or fail. Or is another fanboys conjunction. I occasionally, right, you saw the ly, didn't you? Good move. I don't know who that was, but someone answered that. That's pretty good. We got to get on FaceTime here, and we'll really hear each other's answers. We should do like a Zoom. We can get everyone on here. Where are we? Let's go to, so occasionally is an adverb. 18, brag about my successes. Brag. You're doing something, right? So that happens to be a verb, brag. Do you know that if you brag a lot, you could be described as someone who has braggadocio? Isn't that a cool word, braggadocio? I love it. I mean, I wouldn't want to be associated with it, but I think it's kind of cool. Who would come up with the word braggadocio? Except I'm thinking the Italians, braggadocio. It almost sounds like a kind of pizza. Braggadocio pizza, mamma mia. Okay, let's finish up. 19. Aha! Oh, do you feel the emotion? Oh, wow. So, aha is an interjection. Wow, that was cool. I exclaimed, that was a tough one, but I filled in every space. But is fanboys is connecting the sentence before that with this sentence, the previous part of the sentence, I mean the clause before that to the clause after it, so it's a conjunction. All right, now we get into the chapter where we learn what everything is. This first part should be rather easy, so I'm going to go through it quickly. The verb. As I said a few minutes ago, it's action or a state of being. Now you might say, state of being, what do you mean by that? That's where you get the linking verbs. If I say, this is a sentence, believe it or not. If I said, I am, that's a sentence. I am. Remember Jesus said, I am that I am. And I have a shirt that says, I am that I am. But let's just say that I say, I am. All right? I am. Mr. Glines, there's no action there. How can that be a verb? Well, am is a state of being. It really means I exist, right? And so that's a state of being. It's a state of existence. So I know that's it's not like an action per se. It's just a state of being. I am. So yeah, that's where we get linking verbs. But then there's one like I put my hand up to the. Okay, that's an action, obviously, not a state of being. Now, exercise 1 gets into types of verbs. You can have physical or mental. Some of these you actually do physically, like I just did. There are other, like thinking is a mental one. What else on here? Consider is obviously mental. Want is mental because you can't actually see these things. You might see the effects of them, but you won't see the wanting. Wish, number 3, that's mental, right? It's something you do upstairs, which you don't actually do physically. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Remember, we've talked about abstract and concrete nouns in the last chapter. So it's similar to that. Some you can see and some you can't. Like democracy, remember we said was an abstract noun. Next one, identify action verbs. So exercise 2, I would think you wouldn't have a hard time with that exercise. I'm not going to even give you the answers. But I will say that one of these has 2 answers. And that's number 5. All the others have 1 action. All right? And remember, they come, most of the time, they come after the verb. Action verbs come after the verb. Lucy loves lemonade. You wouldn't say loves Lucy lemonade. That doesn't make sense. So they usually come after the subject of the sentence. Linking verbs is the next section, and here you have a list of some of them down below. See the green box on 92? If the last word in the verb phrase is a linking verb, then it's a linking verb. I know that sounds weird, but helping verbs not only help action verbs, but helping verbs also can help linking verbs. For instance, I will be here tomorrow. All right? Will be is the verb, right? So will helps be. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have more than one verb that it's called a verb phrase when you have more than one verb in a sentence. So in the green box and on the purple box on the next page, you're going to have examples of linking verbs. The purple box, you have to be careful because it's how the word is used. If it's just like, let's be serious, some of those words can actually be action verbs, not linking verbs. Like look at the word feel, okay, feel. I feel sick, all right? That's a linking verb. Because you could replace it with I am sick, I was sick, something like that, all right? But, because feel is something, it's a state of existence, how you feel, state of being, right? But, if you like literally, easy for you to say, if I get this over here, my flannels, and I say, okay, I'm feeling the flannel, that is an action verb, because I'm literally feeling the flannel. So, If it's a literal thing that you're actually doing, then it's not a linking verb. Look at the word smell. That could be a linking or an action verb, right? The flowers smell nice. Now let's be serious. Flowers don't have noses, and if they do, you better get some other flowers, or you better go to someone else's garden, because we have issues. So here we go. Flowers, the flowers smell nice. All right? It's because the flowers literally aren't smelling, then that's a linking verb. Again, you could say the flowers are nice. You could put in other linking verbs. Now, if you literally say, I smelled supper being cooked, that's action because you're literally smelling with the nose. So that's the thing with linking verbs and action verbs. You have to figure out how they're being used. Are they action or linking? So on exercise 3, they have a whole lot of examples of linking verbs in sentences. Number 5, should be is the answer, 2 words. Number 7, 2 words, have been. So you can see how linking verbs are used down there in that exercise. I'm not going to give you all the questions right now or the answers. We'll talk about review A probably tomorrow in class, because in this one you have to tell whether it's an action or a linking verb. And that could be a little tricky to see if it's an action or a linking verb. And same thing with exercise 4. So let's quit there today. I've already been talking 21 minutes and 40 seconds. So we're going to pick up here tomorrow. And tonight, remember, you just have to study your vocab. And then tomorrow you're going to have the quiz. I'm going to put it on at like 9:30, so you can take it anytime after 9:30, all right? Keep working hard, guys. We'll get through this together, all right? We'll see you. Bye.